Hey y'all, hey. Happy Wednesday. Come on in. Auntie Deborah, how are you? I see Alana. Auntie Sandy. What? Auntie Sandy outside. Let's see. Now we got Monica Memphis in the building. Auntie Denise. Anita. Where have you been? We ain't seen you in a month of Sundays. Hello, hello, hello. Michelle in the house. Baby, we working out the OGs tonight, Jay. We freaking out the OGs. See, we got who else we got here? See, Barbara, welcome. Sandra is in the building. Hey, y'all. We're gonna give people a few more minutes to come in the room. I was gonna set everything up with the cameras in the background and everything, but I ain't have my help tonight, and I ain't feel like fooling with that clipper. I ain't feel like fooling with that clipper. Come on in. Let's see. There go Tanya coming in. Said hello from Orlando. Hello, Donna. I hope you are in the Orlando, Tampa, St. Pete community. Oh, y'all, I can't wait till this announcement on Monday. It's going to be dope. Yes, I am. Very well, ma'am. Very well. Anybody who put their order in for their jackets in this last batch, those orders have went in. I haven't gotten the proof yet. So as soon as the proof goes in, then I will let you guys know that the time starts ticking in. Welcome, Houston. I see Houston in the house. We got Cali, we got Orlando. We have Dallas. I saw we got Memphis. What's another? Which community, Angela? Tampa chapter. What's up, Tanya? New York, the New Yorkers. I'm excited. I'm planning my trip to Africa. Yay, Auntie. Cleveland in the house. Chi-Town, there's Alana. Yeah, y'all. Miami. Oh, okay. I know Auntie Kathy is in Miami too. So we might have to get one because Auntie Kathy had y'all like doing 5Ks or something. We gotta talk to Auntie Kathy, see if she wants a Miami chapter. Any other people in the Miami-ish area? So that's Miami, right? Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach, Middleton, New York, ready for the Wiz on Saturday. I know y'all gonna have a blast. Okay. Hampton, Virginia. Okay, y'all, we gonna get started in 1 minute. I know Rose is in Hampton, Virginia too. Okay. All right, y'all. How many of you have been before and you met Jay before? Cause I ain't getting no bio, cause y'all have seen him before. Jay gonna introduce himself. Jay gonna you gonna introduce yourself, Jay. Y'all, Jay is gonna share a video with us. I don't know if it's the beginning or the end. You know the beginning.
I'm unmuted now.
Yep. You're gonna do it at the beginning or the end.
Oh, the video.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I'll do it a little bit later on. I don't have to
Okay.
do it right now. Yeah,
Oh,
we can talk and then we can
got it.
show it. And then if there are questions or anything, or however you want to flow. All the aunties, how you doing? It's good to see everybody. I saw Houston, but St. Pete, everywhere. Wow.
Yeah. So we're gonna let Jay do an intro because I want him to kind of tell you like his background of even getting into get like y'all. The story is amazing. Y'all have to see like one day I'm gonna have to show y'all the whole video. But yeah, the story is amazing of how he started even getting into falling in love with the destinations. I've traveled with this company to Egypt. Yes, you told me earlier this year. I remember that. Yes, I remember you said that. When you said, "Oh no, that wasn't you. Someone in our community came to Egypt with oh God, Cecily." And she mentioned it. Yeah, she just came with Cecily. So this is another one. So go ahead, Jay. I'm turning over to Jay.
Okay.
I am
All
muting
right.
myself, y'all. So I am turning the floor over to
All
Jay.
right. All right, everybody. Well, Dacia, thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of the Ladies in Luggage family. That's the deal. So, although I am a gentleman, it's always an honor to meet more and more people from the Ladies in Luggage family. I have been here before and shared with you. And today we're going to talk about Brazil. We're going to talk about the African diaspora and why it's important for you to be a part of traveling to these different destinations. So my name is Jay Cameron, and I'm a social media influencer. I've done so many things. Resume is very extensive, but I am an African diaspora advocate, and that's because I am a member of the African diaspora in the U.S. I was born in Charleston, South Carolina, raised in Washington, D.C., spent most of my life in the United States, didn't do a whole lot of traveling. Was afraid to travel because everyone said if you travel, something bad is going to happen to you. So I stayed pretty much geographically right along the East Coast of the United States. I think I hopped out to California one time and ran up to Toronto one time. Then when I got big and bad, I went down to the Caribbean. I went to Jamaica and did a cruise, and so I was like, okay, that was pretty much it. And then as life started passing me by, I said, well, wait a minute. I said, what's going on here? I said, I'm looking on TV and I'm looking on social media. Everybody's traveling everywhere. And I was like, well, but I'm afraid to get on the plane. I'm afraid to do all of this. I'm afraid. And then one day I said, you know what? I can't do it. I can't be afraid anymore. And I'm going to tell you how bad the fear was. It was so bad that in 2016, I didn't want to get on a plane. So what I decided to do to go on a cruise, I decided that Baltimore was close to DC. And I decided that I was going to go drive to Baltimore to get on the cruise to go to Bermuda because I was afraid to get on the plane. Now, how did all of that change? And now I've been to 23 different African countries. I've been to 47 total countries around the world and lead people all around the world and partner with other people to make sure that it happens. And that's why I'm excited about this partnership with Ladies in Luggage and excited about sharing with you Brazil and different parts of the African diaspora. So what ended up happening one day, I woke up and I said, there has to be more to life than this. And I will not look up years down the line and have all of these regrets saying that I shoulda, coulda, and I wish I woulda. So in 2018, I decided to get on the plane and fly to Ghana. And I was afraid, I was nervous, but I said, if I don't do it, nobody else is going to do this for me. I got on that plane and my whole life changed. I began to see things that I didn't even know existed. Many of the things that I was told, I discovered weren't 100% true. And I discovered a new person, and that's what traveling does and going to all of these different places. So went to Ghana. After Ghana, I was so inspired, I decided to climb Mount Kilimanjaro. And after climbing Mount Kilimanjaro, I said it's important for me to now bring other people to the continent so they can see, so they can experience this awakening, so they can have this freedom, the weight. A lot of the weight was lifted off of my shoulders, and so that's when we started taking people to different parts of Africa. And then from there, I started learning more about the African diaspora and how Brazil is the country that has the largest population of people of African descent outside of the continent of Africa. That's right, Brazil. Brazil has the largest population. and that is a result of the the transatlantic slave trade and the Portuguese and what was happening actually 100+ years before anything was going on in what we know as the United States. So all of that said, there have been so many people who've gone, so many people who have traveled and seen for the first time, and then they've decided to go back multiple times. And I've seen some people actually move to the continent of Africa. We can even talk about Central America and Colombia and Costa Rica and Panama and the relevance there for those of us who descend from the continent of Africa. You can go into the Caribbean with Jamaica and Haiti, and pretty much any Caribbean island you'll find there are tremendous roots that go back to the continent of Africa. So with all of that said, we're talking about Brazil. And I had no idea because I looked on TV, and every time I saw someone who was from Brazil, they definitely didn't have as much melanin as I have in my skin. You know, I was like, well, Brazil, I guess that's just this is how bad it was. I thought they spoke Spanish in Brazil. That's how I was like, well, they speak Spanish there. I was like, no, they speak Portuguese. Like, oh, Portugal. Okay, you know, so I had to start teaching myself and learning and beginning to broaden my mind. But when I went to Brazil, let me tell you what happened. I went to Brazil. I went to Salvador in the state of Bahia in Brazil. And when I went there, I saw so many people who looked exactly like me, no different. As a matter of fact, until I opened my mouth and couldn't speak Portuguese, that's when they figured out that I came from an English colony. It was the most amazing experience. The food, the culture, the vibe. You even saw the African roots. You saw the Yoruba culture, which is predominantly coming from Nigeria. You saw the Yoruba culture in Bahia. And then when you would ask anyone, so would, you know, those who did speak English, so where are your roots on the continent of Africa? And most would say Angola, you know, because Angola is another Portuguese. There was a colony in Africa, and then Brazil, another Portuguese colony. But that connection, and if you look at the continent of Africa and you put it right next to South America, you see that the short trade route is right there between Angola and Brazil. And you see that, and it's very, very interesting, very fascinating. But another thing about Brazilian culture, we hear a lot about Rio de Janeiro and just the vibe in Rio. And then, of course, you hear about, for those who are familiar, you hear about what goes on in Bahia and in Salvador. And it's something that I recognized that even in part, there were parts of Brazil that felt more African than parts of Africa I've been to, because they held on to the culture. And that's what you see in the artwork. That's what you see in the shopping. That's what you can taste in the food, the black-eyed peas, the rice, all of the things that we know in the southern part of the United States. They have it right there in Brazil. So I'm gonna show you a video, and it's gonna walk you through what you can look forward to in Brazil, and then we'll come back and talk a little bit more about Brazil, the experience, because I know ladies in luggage are getting ready to pump up this whole Brazil experience. A lot of cool things happening in Brazil, but no visa required to go to Brazil. You know, that's a beautiful thing right now, so take advantage of that. But let's take a look at this video and look at the Brazil experience. And let me switch this back over again on the audio side and take a look at this.
Welcome to the lively realm of samba, sunshine, and boundless exploration. Welcome to Brazil. As you disembark the plane, feel the tropical caress of the Brazilian breeze embracing you in its warmth. Leave behind any concerns about transportation. We've arranged for a cozy air-conditioned vehicle to transport you smoothly to your hotel. After a day of travel, it's time to unwind and revitalize. Settle into your hotel room and prepare for the adventures that lie ahead. Tonight, join us for a delightful dinner where you'll meet your tour guide and review the thrilling itinerary for the journey. And what better way to conclude the day than with an immersive tour of Rio by night, immersing yourself in the city's dynamic nightlife and pulsating rhythms. Wake up to the alluring aroma of Brazilian coffee and prepare for a day of discovery. Following a hearty breakfast, we'll embark on a city expedition, delving into Rio's storied past and vibrant culture. From historic landmarks to the world-renowned Ipanema and Copacabana beaches, you'll absorb the sights and sounds of this bustling urban city. And fret not, vegetarians and vegans, Brazilian cuisine boasts an array of delectable plant-based options to satisfy your taste buds. Today, we'll venture into the heart of Rio's favela communities, gaining insight into the lively culture and resilient spirit of its inhabitants. Gain an understanding of the history and social dynamics of these distinctive neighborhoods as you engage with the locals and deepen your appreciation for life in the Rio de Janeiro. Bid adieu to Rio de Janeiro as we board a brief flight to Salvador Bahia. The heartbeat of Brazil awaits. Upon arrival, settle into your hotel and prepare for an enchanting Bahia by night tour, where you'll immerse yourself in the sights and sounds of Afro-Brazilian culture. Today, we'll delve into Bahia's rich African heritage, immersing ourselves in the entrancing rhythms and dances that define Afro-Brazilian culture. From traditional music performances to immersive cultural exhibits, you'll witness the vibrant mosaic of Bahia's African origins brought to life before your eyes. Step back in time as we explore the iconic landmarks of Bahia, from the cobblestone streets of Perolino to the grandeur of the San Francisco Church. Delve into the region's colonial legacy and African influence as you visit the African Museum and uncover the poignant narratives of Bahia's history. Escape to paradise as we embark on a day of island exploration, discovering the breathtaking allure of All Saints Bay and luxuriating in the tranquil serenity of Itaparica Island. Indulge in delectable Brazilian cuisine and soak up the sun on pristine beaches, surrounded by crystalline waters and verdant tropical vistas. Journey to the historic city of Cachoeira, where colonial charm intertwines with Afro-Brazilian heritage. Roam the vibrant streets and visit the Sisters of Good Death, a living testament to Bahia's rich cultural fabric. Learn about the region's sugarcane legacy and immerse yourself in the rhythms of Afro-Brazilian music and dance. Experience the natural splendor of Bahia's north coast, where endless stretches of sandy beaches and swaying coconut palms beckon. From Fort Beach to Guarajuba Beach, revel in the sunshine, relish the flavors of fresh seafood, and bask in the laid-back ambiance of Brazil's coastal haven. As the curtains fall on your Afro-Brazilian expedition, we bid you farewell with heartfelt appreciation and fond memories.
And we thank you. We thank you in advance because guess what? As you're on your journey to Brazil, what you begin to learn is how important this part of the world is. And so that's just a sample of it. I mean, how many people, if you like to eat, put a 1 in the chat. All my eaters out there, all my foodies, all my aunties that are foodies, put 1. Somebody put like 5 1s in there. I see you. All right, I see. See, there you go. You know, one of the beautiful things about traveling is you have an opportunity to taste foods you would never taste. And it's not just like, you know, because we're familiar with fogo de chao in the States, but there's much more to Brazilian cuisine than that. And the interesting part about it is when you do see the Afro influence as well as the Portuguese influence, and when they merge, and it creates a very unique fusion of culinary experiences. So you get a chance to see that. I saw someone put a comment in about the collard greens in Brazil. And understand, you know, of course you adjust your palate because it might not taste the same way that ours tastes, but that's the good part about it. Because I would have never known, if I never went to Brazil, I would have never known the similarities. I would have never known the differences. I would have never known the art. I would have never known the history. You know, one of the things I was thinking about earlier today is that oftentimes we travel and we travel for fun. But the beautiful part about this experience is you have the fun, you have of course, the Rio experience, the Bahia, so you get to go to 2 locations, Rio de Janeiro, and you get a chance to go to Salvador in Bahia. And you have those experiences, but then you get a chance to learn, you get a chance to shop, you get a chance to eat. It's like a well-rounded experience. And this is in Brazil. And guess what? You still get the African culture and you have the African experience. And I'll tell you, like I said, parts of Bahia were more African than places I've been in Africa. So you get that experience and it touches you in a way that you want more. And that's what these experiences are designed to do. That's why it's important for you when Ladies in Luggage, when they release this and they put it out, that you take advantage of everything that they're offering, because these experiences are much more than just going on a trip. These are travel encounters. They're travel experiences. And what they will do is they will touch you, and you just don't know how they're going to touch you, because you're thinking, oh, I'm just going on a trip. And then you taste something that reminds you of maybe your auntie, you know, who's gone on years by. See, I remember my aunt had that in her house somewhere, and I didn't know where she got it from. And then the dots start connecting. And when the dots start connecting, you begin to, as I said earlier, you begin to awaken, or you begin to become empowered with more knowledge and more insight. And you say, you know what, I want to go to the next place. I heard they're going over here, so I want to go there too, because what else is on the other side of this experience? And so Dacia, I tell you, you know, every time I talk about these travel experiences, I get excited, because I know somebody's life is going to change. You know, I can't tell you how it's going to change, but I watch it happen time and time again. Someone says, you know what, I'm gonna stop thinking about it. I've been contemplating it. I'm not gonna overthink this anymore. I'm gonna do it. And then on the other side of it. So I can't tell you you're gonna climb Mount Kilimanjaro. I can't tell you that. But I know for me, I had to make a decision, and I made a decision in 2018, and I have not looked back since. And I'm headed out to Egypt tomorrow, because, you know, now I'm no longer afraid to fly. You know, I get on the planes now. I probably have 500,000 miles under my belt now. And so we want you to have those experiences. We want you to be able to see and share with your nieces and your nephews and your grandbabies and your children, and for generations to come. Because guess what? It's your voice that's going to make the difference. Oftentimes, for many of the aunties, you're the leader of the family, and people follow you, and whatever you say, auntie said it, we're going to do it. And so here's just another thing that you can add to the wealth of knowledge and experiences that you have for those that you have influence with. And guess what? Even if it's not for them, it's for you. And that's what we want for you. So Dacia, I know we talked about Brazil. I know some other things that we want to talk about, but I just wanted to share that with everyone. I hope it inspires you to now consider joining us in Brazil.
So, the video you showed, because I had not seen the video. So that video is like what the destinations that we're going to be going to.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Talking about those destinations. Okay. And then and I know it talked about food a couple of times, but all meals are included. Now you got to purchase your drinks, but all meals are included and on the Brazil trip. So that will be dope. And you know that you'll be able to experience things that the locals experience. Because I see Jay's photos, and they eating everywhere. And I'm like, what? And then I know the ladies went to Ghana, love the food. Now they did talk about what was it, the sausage or a hot dog or something? They were like, somebody gave them a hot dog, and they was like, what is this? Like that's one thing that we have to remember, is like when we go out the country. I think she was looking for a sausage. She thought it was a sausage or something, and she was like, I don't know what this was. But if you think about, just for me, most places that we go to and they have breakfast sausage, 9 times out of 10, you be like, this is not.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
I don't know what this is. This some kind of light skin. I don't know what this is. This ain't real sausage, people.
I can tell you what happened. All right. So what they'll say is breakfast sausage, but because Ghana was colonized by the British, they had a British breakfast that has the baked beans and the little, what we know is like little hot dogs.
Yes.
It's little chicken sausage.
Vienna sausage.
Yeah, you know, it might not have even been Vienna sausage. So that's what the experience was.
They had it out there for breakfast, about chicken sausage. Never mind. I'll eat the baked beans. That's
yeah. That pork and beans. There, you know, little hot dogs and the pork. That was basically what was going.
That's not breakfast sausage.
Yeah.
But that's what we have to, when you're traveling to other countries, that's the one thing that a lot of people forget about. They come with this idea of, I'm about to go to Africa, she said beanie weenies.
There you
Yeah,
go. That's it. There you
you
go.
go to these other places and we looking for Oscar Mayer bacon, wheat toast and some waffles, and then they give you tomatoes, cheese,
Oh
lunch
yeah.
meat,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
croissant, and the Vienna sausage,
Yeah.
and and you like, this not breakfast. This is not what I expected. Can you talk kind of about um how to like transition into,
Sure.
because I know how sometimes people like, mama said it, but they don't want to hear from me. Can you just talk about it a
Yeah.
little?
Well, anytime you go into a different culture, this is what I tell everybody. I tell everybody, leave America in America, because these countries don't know our culture. They don't understand our palate. So when you're going into their world, what you do is you prepare. Say, you know what? It's going to taste different. The way they prepare their food, it just, it's even in the U.S., you go from New York to Louisiana, it's going to taste different. It's not going to be the
Mhm.
same. So when you go with the mindset to say, all right, I'm going someplace different. Let me just take this in, and let me just, all right, you may find some things that you really love. I'll tell you one thing. For me, I didn't like Ethiopian food when I first had it. I was like, I can't do it. I can't do it. The little bread looks like stomach bread. I can't do it. But guess what?
It's
I go to
stomach bread.
Ethiopian. Yeah, it looked like stomach bread. It looked like the inside of a stomach. I was like, I can't do this. This is not, I don't like it. But I go to Ethiopian restaurant at least 3 times a month now. Because I love it. I love the food. I love the stomach bread. I adjusted my palate. It just took me a little time to do it. When I went to Ghana, the food was just too spicy, too peppery, too hot. I was like, I can't do all this pepper. This is, but what I learned how to do was to adapt and adjust. So wherever you go, because the African diaspora has so many different flavors, that you say, you know what, let me try it. If it's not for me, okay. Now, what we do on our trips is we make sure that you have enough Western options to where you don't have to worry about eating local food all of the time. So
Hmm.
that's the thing we think through, and we make sure that if you need your rice and your potatoes and the things that we like, the chicken and the beef or whatever, you will have the ability to have that. And we go to places that understand the United States Western palate, but a lot of people don't want to go to different countries and eat the same food, but they don't want to only have the option of the local food. So we make sure you have the option of both, vegans and vegetarians. We More and more people are adopting a plant-based lifestyle, so we recognize that also. But whenever you travel, you kind of adjust your mind and say, hey, it might be a little different. The food might not taste the black eyed peas might not taste the same way the black eyed peas taste in Savannah. So and that's part of the fun,
Yeah.
because it's part of the fun of it. You're like, all right, I'll try something different.
Yeah, because and even like you were saying, like even going between Egypt and Dubai, the hummus is totally different. The
Oh yeah.
hummus is, I love hummus, but the hummus tastes totally different in those two places. But they were equally, as good to me, but they taste totally different. And put a pin too, like he was talking about having foods that are kind of the same, kind of making sure that there are options, if you decide that you want some chicken and rice. But please note that the chicken probably ain't gonna taste like at home chicken still. Now you go to Dubai, you get some spicy Popeyes. It's probably gonna taste better than the Popeyes. I'm just telling you. In New Orleans, I'm telling you that it is gonna taste better because I've had
Oh
it several
wow.
times. Yes, but because they use unprocessed and
Ah,
unfiltered
oh
stuff
yeah,
in other
yeah.
countries. That's all I'm saying. Like the US, we do so many things to our, animals and to our fruits and vegetables. Then when you get, right, she said real chicken. Yes.
Real
And
chicken.
so when you get to other places and then they had this little chicken, and we used to a chicken breast as big as a small toddler. And we get there and it's a regular, like back in the day chicken breast, and you like, is this real? This is the real deal. So just keeping that in mind, because it will be different when you go to different places to eat. And sometimes you listen, we absolutely love Egypt. We burn up, we melted, we walked a lot,
Yeah.
We did have food, but we were ready to come home to eat too. You know, even their potato chips taste different. Like they do something different to their snacks. And that's why I try to tell people, if you want to have snacks that you know that you want, that you like, make sure you bring those with you, because they may not, even if you have a Lay's potato chip there, it probably will not taste the same as a Lay's potato chip at home.
Absolutely.
Sneaker, no, they don't compare. So if there's something specific that you want, that you like, you take those things with you so you know that you will have them and you won't be without. But um, and then like you said, knowing that you have those options. Because everybody got McDonald's. Now, does the menu look the same everywhere? No. But everybody got McDonald's if that's what you want to do with your life. And KFC. I've seen KFC probably almost
I,
all places for
I
some
think
reason.
KFC dominates the world.
Yes.
Because there are
I
places
think,
that McDonald's
yes.
doesn't exist, that KFC and Pizza Hut somehow have found their way in there. I was like, and the pizza does not taste the same.
It does not. It
And
does
and
not.
and that KFC doesn't taste the same. You go to Ghana, it doesn't taste the same. So people are like, yeah, I'm ready for some KFC. I said, watch out now. I said, hold on. I said, let me prepare you for this, because it's got a little kick to it, and it does not have that original flavor like what we used to Colonel Sanders back in the day running through the field. It does not have that same
And
that
that's why I
same.
say, yeah, the Popeye, the spicy, I gotta say spicy. The spicy Popeyes in Dubai is amazing. And it almost tastes better than New Orleans. I'm just saying. As long as Bacardi and you know what, and Jack Daniels taste the same, I'm good.
That tastes different then.
I say, but there are some different drinks that they have there too. Let's see. Auntie Jerry said traveling should expand your horizon experience, not same as home. You should travel with an open mind, different cuisine, unless it disagrees with your stomach and not your path. That's true. But I think sometimes for some people, it takes a little bit longer for them to like get that, especially if you traveling to Europe. People like, they think, like, oh, we got breakfast is included, and they get down there and they got beans. And they're
Oh
like,
yeah.
we don't eat that for breakfast. But they do.
I struggled
They
to find me a
do.
pancake. I've struggled to find me a fluffy pancake that wasn't a crepe. I was like, y'all got to, find me a pancake with some syrup. Can I give me something, y'all? I just need a, but you know what ends up happening is you'll find something else that you like.
Yes.
You'll find something along the way. You say, okay, I'm not gonna starve. So I'm gonna make this work. But they see it as something that's really key. And I think I saw some Nicole said that McDonald's got the pancakes. One of the things that is that's a part of the experience. Going to these places, like you had the two different types of hummus. You could even say that you had, the hummus in Dubai is different from the hummus in Egypt.
Yeah.
And you had that experience. Just imagine if you only knew the one hummus in the processed hummus in the US, you went there. I just had to go.
I mean, but it's true.
It's true. With all the pesticides in the hummus. So you have these experiences, and now you know what you like, what you don't like, and you can kind of take that back and say, you know what, I might not have cared for this, but I really enjoyed this. And kind of like when you talk about with Egypt with the heat, I was like, it was hot. Well, we still had a good time. It was an experience that you had, and that's life. That's the thing. When we get to the end of our journey, life is really just a sum total of all the memories that we have. When we get there, we're like, wow. Now, I haven't gotten to the end of it yet, but I know that I reflect it every day. If today is the last day, wow, it's been an amazing ride.
Mm-hmm.
Don't have a whole lot of regrets to go back and say, I didn't do this, I didn't do that. And that's the thing I hope to inspire, hey, do it now. Live now. Live now. Yeah.
And then even thinking about, there are some people who try to, they bring spices home from these other countries, and maybe even vendors use spices from their home country in their meals. But for me, even going to a Lebanese restaurant or Middle Eastern restaurant in the States, and they make the hummus, and you just like, it just ain't the same.
Not saying, not
I
saying.
don't care if you brought the ingredients from. It just don't taste the same to me.
And
Because
Lebanese food is some good food. Lebanese food
yeah,
is some good
it's some
food.
good food. It's some good
Some
food.
good food.
Now, like I did, I think I see a few people with that went to Egypt with us. Listen, we were sick. We were sick of lentil things. It was
Where'd
good.
y'all go? I'm trying to
It was,
figure out.
we were sick of lentil. We were sick of lentil. We were sick of chicken. Like I love me a good old chicken shawarma, but we were sick of it. Like,
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure.
but yes, but it was a great time. We found a little, and I don't know if you saw I know you've seen these in Egypt. The Schweppes, the pineapple and the pomegranate Schweppes.
Okay. Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Bring me some cases when you come back from Egypt. Tell Ariel to bring me some, and I'll come get it from her house.
The Schweppes. I'll
Cause
tell her.
listen, those pineapple and pomegranate Schweppes were
Yeah,
uh, those things were the bomb.
yeah.
We took out a whole refrigerator of them when we came back one day.
The whole
And
river.
it was a young guy at the store. He like called his parents, like, come get me, because we just sold out everything. We bought up all the chips and all the sweats. He was like, come get me. We done. They need them they need Auntie Lily, they need them in the US. They were amazing.
Oh, that's the truth now. I mean, that got me curious now. Now
Yeah,
I'm going to,
when you
when I
go,
land tomorrow
yeah,
on the 26th, I'm going to get me some Schweppes, some
get you
pineapple.
the pineapple Schweppes. Oh my gosh, they're amazing. Y'all got questions for Jay?
Send them my way. Come on, let's talk.
Y'all got questions? Because again, we talked about there are so many other places that we did not think about as far as she said, got one left in my refrigerator. Don't be on here trying to tease people, Lanita. Hang up. Um, so many other destinations that we don't think about as far as the African diaspora is concerned. Like, listen, I tell them all the time, I did not like London. Jay said, what? I
Yeah.
said, Jay, we went there first of all, as my grandson would say, first of all, the food was horrible. I don't never want to see a malted fish sandwich thing again in my life. Like, I don't want to see that no more ever. Like, it was horrible. And Jay was like, you went to the wrong place.
Yeah, you didn't go to Brixton. You didn't go to the black areas. London you got black London. There's a whole nother, and it's like African black London. It's like its own vibe. It's you go to Brixton, and once you get there, I mean, you have all the different restaurants, the Sierra Leonean restaurant, the Senegalese restaurant, you got your soul food restaurant. You have everything going on in Brixton. And that's a part of the London Black experience. And that's something that we have curated. You get a chance to learn a side of history that they would never dare teach in the US. And that's the wonderful thing about London. It's one of my favorite cities, actually. I didn't think I was going to like it because it has all the colonial stuff going on, but I fell in love with London. I was like, what is going on? I've been like 4 times. I went 4 times in a year. I said, what is London all about? So, but that's one destination. You have Amsterdam. A lot of times people don't think about Black Amsterdam because they don't tell us about Black Amsterdam. And because when you think about the Netherlands and the Dutch were huge into the slave trade as well. So when you look at the big players, you look at the Dutch, the Portuguese, the Spanish were huge, the French, the British, the Belgians. You did have the Germans involved as well, and the Swiss, the Danes. So a lot of what you see, because they were involved in Africa, they also took people back to their countries and used those people to build their countries. We just don't hear about it the same way we do in the US. So, of course, you have, of course, Paris has a strong African population as well. Spain, and of course, Portugal. You have Lisbon, and then you have, of course, Madrid and Barcelona.
She been asking about Portugal.
Yeah. So, but these are African diaspora destinations. They really are. And more people are discovering it. You see a lot of folks moving to places like Spain and Portugal because they're realizing, oh, wow, one, there is a population of people there who understand our culture, but then they can also navigate there. So I always recommend people visiting to find out what works for you. What, you know, certain places may work for you and other places may not. But then you have places like Colombia in South America, and Colombia is one of my favorite places. I didn't think it was going to be. I traveled and I was like, let me go down here to Colombia and see what's happening. And I got there and I thought that I was literally somewhere in West Africa. I said, what? I said, what is going on? I went to Palenque. This is in Cartagena in particular. And the art and just all of the different things, the food, the vibe, the people, it was just, and that's a Spanish territory. And I was like, this is amazing to see. So when I went to Palenque in Colombia, and they started dancing. You know, they would do, you get a dance lesson, and this was in the African area of Palenque, is the African part of Colombia, and they were doing the dances. And so I had it on video and I showed it on my channel. And the next thing you know, the people in Ghana were like, well, wait a minute, hold on, this is what we do. And the young lady, she looked like she came from Ghana. And the people in Ghana were like, well, what is going on? You know, because most people don't know those connections. So the African diaspora is broad. You go down to Cuba, you go to DR, you have Jamaica. Of course, I mentioned Haiti earlier, Barbados. You can go all through Aruba, St. Lucia, all through the U.S. Virgin Islands, the British Virgin Islands, and you'll see this powerful influence. So yeah.
So what do you think is one of the main factors in African Americans moving or leaving the US to live in these parts of the country because of the African Americans?
Oh, wow. Well, a lot of people are moving because one, they're tired of, some people don't know what they're tired of. They're just tired. Some people can tell you they're tired of the microaggressions. They're tired of being overtaxed. They want to be able to stretch their money further. So they're looking at it from an economic perspective, and they look at places abroad. So Costa Rica is a very popular place where many African Americans are moving. Panama is another very popular place where African Americans are moving. Of course, I mentioned Portugal. A lot of folks are moving to Ghana. A lot of folks are moving out east to Tanzania and Kenya. Ironically, some folks are moving to Nigeria, you know, because they're finding that, you know, they like that vibe, they like that energy, and it's a very, you know, it's a very powerful energy there in Nigeria, and they connect with it. I feel the most comfortable in Nigeria, by the way, that because everybody thinks I'm from Nigeria. I blend right in, and that's the thing that you begin to discover. So what I realized, let's say somebody's on a fixed income and they're getting their Social Security check. They find the right situation with the, now they may be going from a lot of people, yeah, also Mexico. That's very correct. I believe a lot of people going to Tulum and other parts of Mexico. They go and they discover that, oh, wow, I'm struggling in America. I'm trying to live in Chicago or DC or Atlanta, and the cost of living is too high. They go to some of these other places, don't lose out on the amenities, have everything that they wanted in the US. They're not far from the US, and they can get back if they need to. But now, let's say they're making $30,000 a year with their Social Security, but because they found the right situation that worked for them, they could learn how to stretch their resources and make it $100,000 a year value out of, you know. So what that's what more and more people are discovering, and they're finding these easy landing places outside of the US. That's why traveling is important, to at least explore, to see what you like. You know, you may, like I said, everything is not for everybody, but you at least create options for yourself. And when you can create options for yourself, I mean, at that point, somebody can't come in there and say, well, now we're going to take everything from you because you're, you know, on a fixed income. We're like, okay, you know what, I'm going to move somewhere where my income is not as fixed, or if it is fixed, I can make it work a little bit more for me. And that's what more and more people are doing, Dacia.
So listen, you said Nigeria.
Yeah.
And so I told you before you know, when you say the word Nigeria, I think 90 Day Fiance. And that's just listen, because all these guys from I guess you can say a American woman standpoint, that the men there are like, they target American women, especially who they feel like, you know, they can get money from or whatever. So is that a vibe there? Like, is that something that you see there And is that something like, she said romance scammer, that can be an issue, like if we traveling there, because I wouldn't want anybody to feel like, okay, we come here and then the guys are like grabby or whatever the words you want to use. So yeah.
Well, they're not gonna. The guys are not going to grab you. I can tell you that right now. But because I've traveled the world extensively, I've seen this thing work both ways.
Mhm.
So I see sisters get out here and the sisters doing their thing and thinking they're running game, and they're like they ran into a situation. So I've seen this thing go both ways. So here's how you do it. It's no different than dealing with a guy in the U.S. You know, the fellas in the US have the game. They're smooth with the words and everything. So you go, if you're thinking it's going to be any different than Nigeria or Ghana or Brazil or Colombia, just don't lose your street sense. That's the bottom line. Don't lose your street sense. Don't, if they start asking you for money, don't give any money. Or baby, I need money. I trying to do this. No, that's all right. No, why don't you have any money? Why am I always paying for everything? Don't feel sorry for them. These guys are smooth as butter, just like guys in the U.S.
Yeah.
Everybody, they got the game. They know how to run that game, and you just have to know. Now, again, to the flip side of this, because I don't want to paint the pictures like the fellas are the only ones. The sisters like to go out and have a good time, and so they kind of throw caution to the wind, and they just kind of out there doing their thing, and so
yeah. And then not like, if you see something like that, typically you would see things like that, like the women throwing caution to the wind, like more in the Caribbean style.
I don't know. This sisters go over to Kenya and they get buck wild. I said, what are y'all doing out here? So that's a whole other conversation.
Yeah, I can see that. Okay. Because I just want the people to be safe, and I don't want them to be like, look, ladies and luggage got us over here.
Oh,
And
no. Well, that's the thing. Just don't lose your street sense and don't fall for the smooth talk. If they start asking for money, shut it down. That's normally the first entry point. Can you give me some money? I'm suffering over here. I'm going through so many different things. Okay, well, I can't give you any money.
Now I will say this. This is another question. So, being in Egypt, one thing I will say about Egypt is we didn't have a whole lot of conversation with women, but the men there are very aggressive. Like,
Yes.
not just to like people per se, but even to each other. They're very aggressive. So are there other countries and that was very off-putting to me. Like,
Yeah.
like that, it was very off-putting. So are other countries that even, have that same, vibe?
Egypt is the most aggressive country I've been in. It is the absolute most aggressive. Nigeria, you would think Nigeria is aggressive like that, but they're really not. You can navigate Nigeria, especially if you handle yourself. Sisters know how to handle it. Y'all know how to do this thing. I mean, y'all know how to do it. So you just roll like, no, don't mess with me, don't bother me today, and it won't be. See, the thing is, they see us as a resource. So they see us as a way to make money. So they're going to respect. They're going to have a level of respect there because they don't want to lose out on that opportunity. But Egypt is definitely the most aggressive. There's a lot of people in Nigeria, but I've not seen them be aggressive like that. Maybe when you come out of the airport, they're trying to take your bags or whatever. But as far as just in the normal movings, no, nothing, no place has been quite like Egypt. I've heard Turkey can be aggressive. I've heard someone told me
for sure. Oh yeah, I can agree.
Somebody told me
And
Turkey
even the women there are aggressive.
Okay. Yeah. Because one girl in Egypt, she grabbed my arm and would not let my arm go until I bought something from her. I was like, well, look at this. I said, well, this is not know how to not take no for an answer.
But even the children, some of the children in Egypt were aggressive. We were like, good Jesus, come on. But the moms, no, I ain't gonna say all the moms were there all the time. But yeah, even the children were aggressive in Egypt. Ooh, yeah. Okay. Anybody have questions? Let me go back and see if I'm missing. I may have. Any African diaspora in Australia?
I am sure that there's African diaspora in Australia. I don't know the name, and I have not been to Australia, so I don't want to speak on it, but I am sure because of the British connection, just because of how different trades were moving around. It probably not as strong as other areas just because of the location of Australia, but I'm sure just because you'll find African diaspora just about everywhere. And but the oh, okay. All right, Lanita said they are, yeah. Yeah, it's just that I'm not really familiar. Once I get there, of course, when I get to Australia, I will have a full breakdown on it and I will find them because I go look. India has African diaspora. Y'all be blown away. Pakistan, India, all throughout that part, Iran, Iraq, all in the Middle East, that area, you'll find so many, but they hide them from the videos. So you won't see them on the videos. But when you get there, you're like, well, where all these black people come from? And like black people with hair like our hair, like, whoa, I didn't know y'all were here like this. And India has over 1 billion people. So there's going to be, and especially with the trades and the Arab slave trade and all of that. So that was happening on that side. And even into China and Japan and Indonesia, all throughout Asia, you'll find African diaspora.
For sure. How long is average flight time? Average flight time is like 7 to 10 hours average, but there are some that are more. Like South Africa, you're talking 19. Like it really depends on where you're going. But let's just think of 7 to 10 hour average. Let's see. How many days? I've done a lot of videos. Let's see what type of day tours for Brazil? Someone is asking.
Oh, well, when it comes to Brazil, you go to, especially for the African side, you do the favela tour. So you go to the community, and that's something that we make sure that we emphasize, going to the places that have the African diaspora. In addition, of course, you go to the Christ Redeemer, and that's in Rio. You get a chance to do the beach. So it's a well-rounded experience. You go to different museums, you have a chance to eat at different restaurants. Of course, you have a chance to shop. And I think those are the key elements that everybody looks forward to.
Yes.
Make sure that they're all there. But it's definitely unapologetically taking you to experience the African culture.
So, okay. So can you tell us what's taking us so long to go to Cuba? What's happening? Or what's not happening that needs to happen?
All right. So Cuba is a very interesting place. So anybody can go to Cuba anytime. Isn't it? Nobody's ever been restricted from going to Cuba. That's
right.
You just can't go that. Well, you couldn't go directly. You can go directly now. What happens is that the U.S. still has. When you understand the history of what happened with Cuba, the U.S. used to have Cuba, and then they lost Cuba to the Castro and the Soviets, and even the British had Cuba for a little while. It was very interesting. That's why everything stopped in the 1950s, and that's why you have all the old U.S. cars there, because when Castro came and the Soviets came and took Cuba from the U.S., now it became the U.S. said, well, we're not sending any cars there anymore. We're not doing anything. And so that you find a 1956 Chevy. that's what is still riding around with a Soviet engine in it. But what happens is that they haven't stopped tourism there. But what they do is they make it difficult for large or companies to be able to take people. And so that's where you have to finesse it. It can happen. You just have to finesse it a particular way. And so that's the deal with Cuba. And Cuba, let me tell you, Cuba, I went to Cuba twice in a month and loved it. I mean, it was so peaceful. The people were so kind. It was everything they said here in the States about Cuba. I just shook my head. I said, you know what? I'm gonna stop listening to CNN.
Yeah, it's definitely a great destination. I've been once and I cannot wait to go back. I absolutely loved it for sure. Just do beach vacation in Cuba, you must do educational tour. Yes and no. For the US, yes and no.
Yeah, you can do a beach vacation, but you have to say, for the benefit of the Cuban people, you have to kind of jump through those different hoops, and that's the thing. That's what we're working on. how we can jump through those hoops and make it happen.
My mom say don't go nowhere. Girl, buy me coke. Is the US dollar strong in Africa?
Depends on where you go. Africa's a big old continent with 54 countries. But I will tell you that everywhere I've been, like in Ghana, the US dollar is extremely strong there. I mean, pretty much everywhere I've been in Africa has been very strong. Strong in Egypt. It's strong. I take advantage. I'm a finance person too, so I'm able to take advantage of opportunities because I have the US dollar. So right now, US dollar is strong. I think it's 13-1, 13 13 Ghanaian cedis to $1. I think that's what's happening now in Ghana. So that's very strong. The Ghanaian economy does not favor that too much, but meaning they don't like that. But as far as those coming from the US, it does go further. Yeah, in Tanzania, the shillings, it goes far in Tanzania, in Zanzibar, absolutely. The shillings, so I'm not sure what the exact rate is right now. If you go to xe.com, that's the letter X and E.com, it can tell you the exchange rate. So that is the, and I'm now looking in the chat now. I can see someone asked a question about the luxury tents in, well, we talk about, Tanzania. So for example, so when we talk about luxury tents, a luxury tent has a full bed that you can get in, and a shower and a toilet. Some of them have an inside shower and an outside shower. It is literally like a little house. You go in and you're like, man. And you wake up in the morning, you look out at the Serengeti, and you're like, and the bed is comfortable. You have your comforters on you. It's you. Now you do hear the wildlife outside at night. Now you will hear everything going on. You hear all of that stuff. Whatever they mating, you hear it. Everything is going on. You're like, what is that? But it's I mean, it's an experience, and you'll never forget it. Let's see what else is here.
Jay, how many days out of a month on average are you home in America?
Well, I've been in the States now for a while, man. So let's see. January, February, I was in the States. Then March, I was gone. I was out. April, I've been back. So it's slowed down a little bit as far as me just on the go. I've laid the foundation. I don't have to be gone as much. But I am getting back out. I do have a few busy months coming up, and I started really going strong with this during the pandemic, because I was able to go back over, and the pandemic did not impact Africa, the continent, from a health perspective anywhere like what it did the US. And it was actually, I was in Zanzibar, and it was just like, wow. I was like, do I have to go back? Because it was just like a completely different world. But yeah, so that's I'm slowing down a little bit here, but you know what? It's because it was a plan. The plan was to lay the foundation, and we have a great team every place that we go.
Someone said, are there any parts of Africa that are unsafe?
Oh, sure. Just like just like there are parts of the US that are unsafe, there are definitely parts of Africa that are unsafe. And it could be any particular country. You got to go into a country and then break it down. I can tell you one of the safest countries to go to is Ghana. That's one of the reasons why we go there. Cote d'Ivoire is a very safe country. Senegal is very safe. The Gambia, very safe. But if you go looking for trouble, you will find it. If you go, those part of the neighborhood you just don't need to go to. It's like you good. Like Chicago is safe. Just don't go to certain parts. Just leave it alone.
Leave it alone.
I want to be among.
The locals, I tell them all the time, the locals do not want you among them in certain places. So I think Cherie was asking about, or just praising your staff in Ghana. They came to Ghana in November, and she was just praising the staff in Ghana. So yes.
But was Morris with you? Was it
Yes, it was Morris.
Okay,
Morris and Regina.
Okay, yeah. All right. I'll be sure to let them know. They have held things down, and they're actually going to start going into, they focus on Ghana, but now we're going to have them expand into Togo and Benin and Senegal and Cote d'Ivoire and Nigeria. So Yeah, and the beautiful thing is that being able to bridge the gap with them, because by us traveling there, it has helped the team and the staff, accomplish many goals. We've helped many people go to well, we've helped many people accomplish their goals, but some people have been able to complete their education and get their master's degree. One of our staff members in Tanzania sent us a message saying because they've been working with us, they built their grandmother a new home and sent a picture. And I was like, wow. I said, because the money goes further, so they're able to do more. And so for us, it's more than, like I said earlier, it's more than a trip. It's about an experience, but it's also about making sure that some of the resources that have been taken from the continent are able to go back and actually get to the people. And we don't have to go through organization or anything. It gets right to the people. We know, we see when they're able to get new vehicles. We see when they're able to send their children to school. That's a beautiful thing. So I'm glad that you all had a good time, and I'll be sure to let them know.
Any additional questions, or did I miss, Lanita? I don't know if you saw any that I missed. Did we miss any questions in the chat? I'm trying to go back. I don't think I missed anything that was already here. I don't.
And while you're doing that, as far as the unsafe, one thing we won't do is take you to some place we know is unsafe. And I'm not going anywhere that I know is unsafe.
Period.
So I go to the places. So if I'm feeling unsafe, I'm definitely not going to encourage anybody to go there.
For sure. And that's me too.
I saw a question about vegan food. And that's because we have more and more vegans and vegetarians going on the trips. We are very mindful of that, and we make sure that you have those options available to you. And it's again, that's why I mentioned Brazil, because Brazil is heavy on the meat. There's a carnivore culture. They have whole restaurants like Fogo de Chao. You get all that meat, but they also have a vegan and vegetarian culture there. Also, some places you go, like Egypt, they have meat there, but it does support a vegan and vegetarian diet. Same thing with Ethiopia. Kenya has a strong carnivore culture, but they also have the vegan culture. And a lot of times places like Nairobi, they'll have international restaurants like that. Some of the best Indian food I ever had was in Nairobi now, because guess what? India came over. You find a lot of Indian population in East Africa, in Mozambique, in Durban in South Africa. So you find that going up and down the eastern part in Zambia and Zimbabwe. But the Indian food, you can definitely find a lot of vegan options. So just know that we think about that all the time.
And the crazy thing is, there is a huge Indian community in Singapore. Like it was crazy. It was a huge community of Indians there. Someone asked about, the trip is November 4th through the 14th. Okay. We will arrive on the 5th of November. And if Lanita will put the link in the chat so that you can see all the package details. So what the video that Jay showed, those are the destinations that we're going to. That's kind of the tour. That's the events that we'll be doing while we're there. So yes, let's see. Is LNL going to keep us abreast of vaccines? Yes, we always do. Right now there are no specific ones. And the biggest thing that was really keeping people like, I ain't going to Brazil, was the visa process. And that has been lifted. They're saying until next year, 2025. But I'm thinking that it may not happen. It's kind of like that real ID that they've been saying was coming since 2005? No, it's at least 2015, 20. It ain't happening. So they probably will not have that. But as of right now, it has been lifted until next April. So because they're like, hey, so we do this for y'all. And they're like, oh, okay, then we're gonna take it away. So no visa requirement. We don't have to show them our bank statements no more. So that will actually help with their tourism as well.
Yeah, I'm going to Brazil. You know what? I'm going to Brazil right after I get back from Senegal. I'll be in. I'm going to Egypt, then I'm hopping to Senegal. Then I'm going to Brazil. So that's getting ready for you all. That's the
Yeah.
deal. Getting ready to make sure y'all are good to go. So that's what's happening next month. And yeah, next month. And
Any
another thing, another point about the vaccines. So when it comes to the vaccine, the only, because I remember didn't want to go to Africa for years. Oh, I got to get all these shots. I got to get 10 shots if you're going to Africa. So I was like, well, guess what? I'm not going to Africa because I'm not getting 10 shots. Well, guess what? I didn't need to get 10 shots. That was when I discovered that, I was like, well, what's going on? So the only vaccine that was required for me was the yellow fever vaccine. And that's so if you're going to Ghana or Nigeria, though they still require that. Togo and Benin, actually Senegal doesn't require it, and many other places have stopped requiring it. So Tanzania doesn't require it, Kenya doesn't require it anymore, unless you're coming from a country that's prevalent with the yellow fever. But that's it. That's the only one. If you go into those, that's it. No other vaccine was, and so I was like, even the COVID vaccine is not required anymore. So, you know, that's why I said, get in now while you can and do what you got to do, because you don't need, they had to get in everything, tetanus and diphtheria and all kind of things. Hepatitis.
Yeah.
I was like,
I'm not doing that.
I was like, why y'all got me? I said, did I get that in school? Did y'all give that to me
Yes.
40 years ago? So
before we go, can you talk a little bit about, because I know a few people that we know, Freddie and Crystal for sure, have gotten dual citizenship. And this is something that a lot of people are talking about now. And kind of what is the process? Is it something that is feasible that we can do, or like, talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I got my dual citizenship in Sierra Leone in 2021 because my ancestry from African ancestry showed that I'm a descendant of the Timoney people in Sierra Leone. And so Sierra Leone has been giving citizenship to those from the African diaspora who can show that they come from Sierra Leone by way of African ancestry. It was a very easy process to do. I had to go take the trip. I had to go, did all the fingerprints, and I have my green passport and my blue passport. And it's not difficult. It's just that you just kind of have to check to see what the regulations are. If there's, when they're doing it, they normally do it around their independence, which is in April. And then I think they do it again in November. So that is, it's well worth it. I get around West Africa using that green passport. I don't need a visa to go to certain countries because I have the green passport. And if I want to, I can run for president of Sierra Leone. I can vote in Sierra Leone. I can do pretty much anything any other citizen can do in Sierra Leone because I have that passport that says I'm a citizen. And so that's what it allows me to do. But it's not a difficult process. You just want to go during the time that they're doing it and make sure you have the African ancestry, not 23andMe, not MyHeritage, not one of the other sites. You have to have an African ancestry showing Sierra Leone on it, and then you can go through the process.
Somebody said, how did you find out about the ancestry for that country?
Went through AfricanAncestry.com. I got the test. I didn't know what I was just exploring. I was like, all right, let me see what comes back. And actually Dr. Gina Page and we did a live reveal. And she said Sierra Leone. This is before I'd even been to Africa. I didn't even know what Sierra Leone was. That's how deep this was. I was like, Sierra Leone. Oh, okay. Where is that? Well, it's a country in West Africa. Oh, okay. I didn't know anything. But because of that, and this was long before they started doing the citizenship, but because of that, finding that out, that's what opened that door. So I encourage you to, check it out, open the door and go. You never know. I mean, I also found out that was just one line. I also found out from doing another African ancestry on my father's side that I'm a descendant of Spain and Portugal. So that came up in that lineage. And then also found out on another line that I'm a descendant of Cameroon, the Mafa people in Cameroon. So, but the main thing, if you want that dual citizenship in Sierra Leone, all you need is for it to say Sierra Leone. And Sierra Leone has been the only country that's been giving dual citizenship and it is business for them. Just understand, everyone, it is business. It's, every country is a corporation, so they're looking to get the resources to come in and build and help build more infrastructure within that country. It's not like a welcome home, y'all. They say that, but it's business, and it should be business for us too. Like, okay, cool, well, I'm coming back to get some of this and see how I can contribute to the society. And so yeah, but it's a wonderful thing to have. Let me say that it's a wonderful thing to have. It's an incredible sense of pride to be a dual citizen of Sierra Leone and also of the United States. Hey, Mende, what's going on, Miss Geraldine? All right. That's what I'm talking about. I see you. All right.
Any other questions before we let Jay go to the 9 ladies? Thank you, Jay, for the information. Yeah, because we definitely have been talking about, like, in our family and amongst friends, like, about dual citizenship because, yeah, for sure.
You never know. And
Yeah.
and someone asked about Panama and Costa Rica dual citizenship. Let me. How do I say this? Panama and Costa Rica are, in essence, the United States. I know they're their own entities and countries, but they're really. I knew when they were encouraging me to drink the water in Costa Rica. They said, "Oh, no, drink the water out of the faucet." I was like, I was like, this is different. Our water is good. Then I saw the U.S. infrastructure, and then, like, in Panama, you use the U.S. dollars. So I don't think they have like a dual citizenship. They might, though. Let's check into it. And another way you can get dual citizenship is to move to a country and live there for a certain period of time and then apply for dual citizenship. So that's another way to do it, even if your ancestry doesn't come from there. I'm looking to get dual citizenship in Ghana. That's someplace I spent a lot of time there. So I'm looking to get dual citizenship there, just to be able to move around a little bit differently within Ghana.
Michelle, I am personally not the host for that trip. Lanita may know who the host is, who they've projected to be the host, but I know that I'm not hosting in November. I'm hosting in October. But our hosts are amazing. They are amazing. So anyone who was going to be hosting, because I don't remember, I'm just getting to remember who the hosts are for our June trips. So yeah. Any other questions? Okay. Well, thank you for coming, Jay. Have a so it will be Jay and your host. So Jay's team, it probably won't specifically be Jay, but Jay's team and Ladies and Luggage host. Yes. So you will have someone from Jay's team there on the ground, and someone from our team there on the ground with you at all times. Yes.
Yeah, you don't have to worry at all. You're gonna have a great time. I tell people all the time, don't overthink it. We got this. Come on and have a good time and enjoy wherever you decide to go with Ladies and Luggage. But yeah, our team is well prepared to make sure everything you have is taken care of.
Yes, tell them, Jay. Auntie Denise just said it. Tell them what your YouTube channel is. Listen, y'all, some of Jay's videos are hilarious. You gotta check out his YouTube antics. What is your YouTube?
All right, if you just type my name in, Jay Cameron, if you go to YouTube, type Jay Cameron in, it's going to come up. You'll see my face, and I'm hilarious, but I get heavy sometimes too. So if you like the education and the knowledge, I got you covered. If you like cutting up and having fun, I got you covered. It embodies everything that we do. So come on and have a good time, and just type in Jay Cameron on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. It's a lot of information. If you want to learn about the African diaspora, be sure to check us out. And we love working with Ladies in Luggage. So whenever Ladies in Luggage is doing a trip that we're a part of, we are excited about it, and we want to make sure that you all have the very best. You all have something very special in Dacia. She has a heart to to take you all around the world, and we love to partner with her to make that happen. And we also love being able to bridge these gaps and do all these different things to enrich your life. So that's why we're here, and excited to see you on one of these amazing Ladies in Luggage trips that we're a part of.
Thank you, Jack. Talk to you soon. Have
All
fun
right.
in Egypt.
All
Tell
right.
Ariel to bring my Schweppes back.
I'm gonna make sure. I'll make sure.
To live up the street, I need my Schweppes.
All right, ladies. Y'all have a
Thank
good
you.
evening.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Okay, ladies. If you have questions about the Brazil trip, again, it's November 4th through the 14th. And what is there is a promo code right now. Okay, Brazil is a promo code. Lenita, is it $250 off? I'm almost certain. Until next week. When is the 30th? Next week, Tuesday? I think it's Tuesday. So till next week, Tuesday, the promo. Okay, Brazil. Yes. She said, what is Schweppes? You know, like the ginger ale. So, but they have this pineapple and pomegranate Schweppes in Egypt that is amazing. Like, it's so good. So good. Especially the pineapple. Okay. So good. So yes, I need somebody to bring me some back, because they do not have it on Amazon, and they do not sell it here. I've looked. So yes. I know, Carlisa. It's just, I know. Any questions, y'all? And listen, we will have our tea on travel Monday and Tuesday. I'll be in Nashville on Monday, so I'll be doing it from my hotel room on Monday, and then I'll be back and I'll do it from home on Tuesday. Monday, we have a big announcement. I cannot wait to drop. So make sure you are definitely there on Monday. Yeah, because the announcement is gonna be dope. She said, I need a job, or you tell me no, you can't go. Where are you trying to go? Listen, we gotta have some willpower sometime. Is announcement for the 25th still a go? When the 25th? Tomorrow? Stacey, what we announcing tomorrow? Y'all have to sometime be reminding me, because I don't be knowing what y'all talk about. Did we talk about Tanzania? Did he talk about Tanzania? He did not. He just said that there are no vaccine. But Jay's company is the company we are using for Tanzania as well. Is Brazil a trip for aunties? It's for everybody, Auntie Kathy. Oh, Auntie Kathy, you here. So listen, they were trying to get a chapter in Miami. And I said, let's see what Auntie Kathy thinks. She said, I thought there was an email. Oh, yes. So there will be, yes, there is an email coming out tomorrow. Thank you for reminding me about that, Stacey. Yes. Okay. So Auntie Kathy, we have to see about a Miami chapter, because someone here asked earlier today. But it's for everybody. But Jay understands, just like with the other trips. It's not just aunties, but he'll definitely make concessions if needed. Okay. Any other questions? No. Okie dokie. Y'all see y'all definitely on Monday. I'll make sure that we send out emails for registration for Tea on Travel, and put it in the Facebook group. And have a great rest of your week, and I will see y'all on Monday.